Today we're going to talk about a lot of things, but the main gist of what we're going to talk about is farming. And it's more than just farming geographically, picking a neighborhood and choosing a neighborhood to send postcards to, do open houses, community events. This is also going to be around farming around a community, and it's not just a physical location. So we're going to talk about all that today. Before I jump into it, I have lots of slides to share with you. At the end of it, we are going to have a QR code where you get all of these slides. So don't feel like you have to take pictures of anything. And then in these slides as well, there are some examples of newsletters that you can use too. Highly recommend just using them to kind of gauge the layout and everything like that, because that is key. Before we get started though, people in Zoom, 2 people here. Is there anything that you want to make sure farming wise you want to go over today, dive deeper into, or have further discussion on around farming?
No.
Good. Zoomland, sounds like you're good. All right. All right, so first couple things we're going to go over is mindset around this. So when you're farming, one of the biggest mistakes people make, besides throwing a bunch of money into it, is starting it and then stopping it too soon. So when we're talking about farming right now, we're talking about a 12-month commitment at the minimum, a 12-month commitment. So make sure that your mindset is that you're planting seeds consistently over time, so that builds a consistent business. The key word, and you're going to hear it so many times today, is consistently and consistent. That's what we want in our business. When you hear me talk about database, you hear me talk about anything, the strength in what you do is more in the consistency rather than even the content that you're providing. So the key thing we want to think about is that whatever we're going to choose, whatever we're going to do, we want to do it consistent. Even if it's only 1 email a month, that's fine. Make that commitment that you're sending 1 email a month. It comes out this time, and that's what people can expect you. One of the key things in building your brand is that trust factor. So we're experiencing it right now. So if we have any delays or anything as far as Zoom is concerned right now, we're having struggles with our internet, and that's based from what's going on with AT&T. So we were just talking today, and we were saying, well, if AT&T is having these, they're kind of struggling from the power outages. But if AT&T is having these issues and they're throttling back the Wi-Fi, they should let us know preemptively that that's happening. But we know that's not how big corporations work. And it doesn't build a lot of trust, right? When someone's not looking out for you in your best interest. So in anything that we're doing here, make sure that we're building trust into what we're putting out there, the content that we're doing, how we show up every day. We need to make sure that we're building that trust. For those of you who heard me talk about database on Monday, you saw this trust triangle, and all my Santa Clara peeps, you're going to hear me talk about the trust triangle quite a bit. Thrive peeps, you've heard me talk about the trust triangle a lot. This is very important to me, and I believe this is where you need to look at your content, your marketing, your presentation, how you show up, and you need to make sure you're hitting all 3 of these points. First one's obvious, authenticity. You're not going to do something consistently if you're constantly having to be the unauthentic you. You guys can see how I'm dressed. You'll always see me dressed this way. I'll wear a sport coat, I'll wear sneakers, I'll wear jeans, I'll wear slacks, I'll wear Lulus. But I wear one, what I think is good looking, and 2, what I feel most confident in. So I'm going to be authentically myself with you guys. You'll see it's getting warmer outside. You're going to see a ton of tattoos. And I'm okay with that. Now, does the industry always think that's okay? No, they don't. But I don't care about that. I go for the people that I'm going to be able to attract. So I'm being authentically me. So make sure your content, your message, everything you're doing is authentically you. Next one is logic. You need to have validity when you're talking to them. Just because you're friends with them or a neighbor of theirs, or they see you walking your dog and you have friendly conversation, doesn't mean they think you're valid in the marketplace. So make sure when we're talking about everything we're doing here, are you also showing how valid you are in the marketplace? Now, if you're someone who you don't have a lot of sales and you're worried, well, How can I do that? There's two easy ways. One, you're part of the largest real estate brokerage in the US and across the whole entire world as far as agent count, size, and volume. So you have the validity right there that there are resources here that we can help people sell their house for the highest amount of money for the least amount of time. Second part of that is that's where your market knowledge comes in. Take the time to educate yourself and put out stats around what's going on in the marketplace that is topical to today. You will become valid. You know, when we see all those headlines that are just, you know, getting a grab as far as getting clicks and things that are kind of hot topics right now, you want to lean into that same thing. What media does to get us engaged in content, to show validity, we want to do that same thing. So you really want to talk about hot topics in the moment, and it helps you show your knowledge and validity in the marketplace. And then last one, definitely not least, empathy. Make sure people know that you actually care about them. This is not directed towards anyone specifically, but when we see billboards, you get those mailers in your. We all live in something that has a roof over our head. We're all getting the things from other real estate agents, the Jordan Motts, the NBCs, right? We're all getting these documents in the mail. Does that document say, I want to help you and your family? Does that document show care for you and your family and what's going on in your life? Or does the document just show, I could sell your house tomorrow, and I could get a ton of bidders on it too? But so you need to make sure your content, your message, does it show that you care about the success of the family and care about the ease and the life and things that are going on with that? So make sure in all three of these corners that you guys are hitting that with our content and how we're showing up in our businesses. All right, this is just another thing on top of it that we're gonna talk about all of these aspects here today. But these are 6 of what I would tell you are the most important things when we're going to farm an area or we're going to focus on a community and pour into it. Number 1 is branding. You need to have a brand. How do you stick to other people? Now, I love Keller Williams. I love the brand that we built, and Keller Williams brand always wants to stand behind your brand. We're here to support you. We're here to help you. We're the brand of reputation. You're the brand of recognition. So when we're talking about have branding, it's not just put your name and real estate agent on the sign. And it's not just the logo that you're putting on there. What does your brand stand for? Have brand guidelines. What do you stand for? What's your mission statement in your business? So have something that people can really grab a hold on to. And remember, could be a logo, could be something creative. There are people working on the AC units right now. So if someone falls through the roof or anything like that, put your hands out. Wear a uniform. For anyone who's with Thrive, you guys see Vinicius Brazil here every day, and every day he's wearing a vest, he's wearing has his logo on it, or he's wearing a jacket that has his logo on it. And he goes out to the neighborhood and he door knocks. And every day he looks the exact same way. He's got gray on, he's got blue. Those are the 2 colors. He's not showing up in a black and white vest. He's not showing up with some big fur coat or a suit jacket. I've never even seen that guy in a suit. But you have to show up every day with a uniform. If it's a polo, if it is a suit, it can absolutely be a suit. It could be the best dress, it could be some red heels or something like that. But wear a uniform that you can stand out to people so that they know when you're coming. Next spot is stand out. Who's received a Jordan Mott mailer in the mail? Describe a little bit what his mailers look like.
It's the regular ones, and it's just gonna sell your house for like top dollar, and then has like this sold in the neighborhood, and this is success, I guess.
Did you ever get the ones that were that were really brightly colored?
Yes, I think so.
So he would print on like
Regular.
magenta pink, neon green, and his mindset around it was get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, get ready, and then on his way into the office, just drop off flyers on the way in. And how do I stand out so I don't look like just everybody else's flyers? Which is that's the market. That's the market we're in right now. You see lots of people gaining success through marketing, through farming, So that's in, Sean, I'm sure you've heard it a trillion times over, but when I meet with an agent, the first thing I want to do, I want to farm. I want to farm, I want to do this. I see NBC doing this. I think that's the play. And that does work. Obviously, farming can work, but you need to do something that stands out so that you're just not another person doing that. And that's what Jordan did by just putting colored paper on people's doorsteps. Did it make a difference? Who knows as far as that's concerned, but the consistency, time on task over time, make sure that what you're doing is different from other people. Doesn't mean don't deliver it to the doorstep, but think of some things that will stand out to the consumer. Use video. You're great at doing video. You're fantastic at video. Was it hard for you to get into video, or are you kind of natural to the video thing?
Ours, I get used to it.
Yeah, once you do it, it's easy. So video is not the future, it is the present. We used to say it was the future 2 years ago. Now it is absolutely the present. Social media loves it when you give them video and put it on their platforms. So if we know that social media loves it, that means you need to love it because they're putting it in front of other people's faces. So get comfortable with being on video. The other thing that happens during video is people start hearing your voice, they hear your jokes, they hear your tonality. You start to build more of a relationship with them, even though you're not doing anything. I'll give you an example. So for those of you who don't know Vinicius is known as the Santa Clara real estate guy. He's the #1 agent in Santa Clara, I think three out of the 4 zip codes. And he has been farming for years and years and years. And he would do, the notepads, he would do magnets, you name it, market updates, but constantly everyone knows him in these neighborhoods. He would do art and wine festivals, right? You put a booth at a festival, put your signage up, and then as people walking by, maybe you're handing out free things for them, or there's a little game, but you're trying to get people to engage with you so that you can talk about real estate. What's the likelihood someone at an art and wine festival is coming up to you to talk about real estate? Probably slim pickings, right? We do open houses and we don't even get people who come in sometimes who want to talk about real estate. So it's harder at those events to get people engaged in real estate, just engaged in general. Well, Vinicius in the last two or 3 years, he's really started filming a lot more and doing more YouTube videos. And so he really has put his brand online and doing more content on video. Well, he just did one this last year, the Art and Wine Festival, and at his booth, people started coming up to him and pointing at him and saying, "Hey, I just watched your video last night." People he's never engaged with before. "Oh, hey, we watched your market update 2 weeks ago." So what's happening here? What's happening is people are feeling comfortable in front of their little tiny screen or in their desktop at their home in their pajamas, right? With no one else around, building a relationship with Vinicius and hearing his voice, hearing what the expertise that he brings, and they're slowly moving closer and closer to him. So when they show up and they see him at the event, it's that much warmer of a conversation. So make sure you're leaning into video. Get face-to-face. You cannot do this without being face-to-face with people. And what I mean by that is don't just send out postcards. Don't just send out social media posts. Don't just own, a community zip code page and put all the value inside of it. Make sure you're getting belly to belly in front of people and doing events and things like that so that they can see your personality. One of the key things I want you guys to think about is digitally based, physically enhanced. Digitally based, physically enhanced. What do you guys think that means, just that statement right there? Zoom or in person?
What was it?
Digitally based and physically enhanced. I'll give you the cheat code. So it means everything about your business, everything about you and how they can understand you is available online. They can get a hold of you, they can get education from you, they can hear from you. Anything as far as resources are concerned, they can get it online. But then when they meet you in person, that's where the experience happens. How do you make them feel when they come in? Do you have a gift for the first time when you meet them? when you do an event? Is it just an event where you're sitting in your hands in your pocket and you're giving them pies or anything like that? Or is it an experience when they walk in, you know their name? Sean, it's so good to see you. How are your two kids? I saw you didn't bring them with you, right? How are you doing that to then elevate it once they've engaged you online? I look at think of the number one person when it comes to marketing. They just send out a lot of marketing everywhere. Events, community things, stuff like that doesn't happen as much. Now that takes a lot of money to pour into a marketplace and touch it enough with just marketing to be able to get a return coming in from that. So you need to use that physical presence, that in-person stuff to really take the relationship to the next level. Don't just rely on marketing in digital space to build relationships with people. And then again, like I told you twice in 2 slides, consistency. You must be consistent with what we're talking about. Think big, start small, then go big. Don't think, okay, I'm going to farm. Let's do 2,500 homes here. Start small, and then you grow it out from there. Because the last thing you want to do is put a bunch of money into something, and then it didn't work in 6 months. You've exhausted the funds, and you're like, well, I didn't see that return on investment that I wanted. I had a really great privilege yesterday to have a one-on-two conversation with my business partner, with Gary Keller. Like literally on Zoom with him, talking about brokerage and the future of the industry. And one of the things that Zoom land, I hope you can see this, yeah. So one of the things he showed us was the 3 Ps as far as investing in an idea or something when it comes to your business. So you look at this, right? Hockey stick. This is how we want our business to go, right? Starts here and then it elevates up from here. But the key thing before you get to this spot over here is you have to start off over here. So now we're going to talk about those 3 Ps. First one is a promise. This is the napkin idea. This is what you penciled out on Excel. You have this great idea. There's 2,500 homes over there. If I send 2 mailers a month, I do a community event, and I do open houses in the neighborhood, I should be able to get 5 people to sell each year. That's going to yield me this much return, so on and so forth, right? It all pencils out on paper here. Then we start moving down the line a little bit. And then we go to, oh my gosh, I forgot it. Oh, killing me on my last P. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Perform. Perform. Now you're performing. Now you're actually doing the work and you're testing it out. And you're constantly making tweaks, right? So instead of doing 2,500 homes, start with 500 homes. Have you been able to find open houses there? Have you been getting your mailer out every month to them? Have you been making the newsletter consistently? So make sure that it performs, and then we have the proof. We start gaining some success after the performance. Now we have the proof. This is where we invest and scale into the business. So when we're looking at farming, specifically even a geographic farm, make sure you're not just let's take $300,000 and throw it into this place. Start small, think big as far as the idea is concerned, but start with performance and then go to the proof and then you invest in it. So just a quick little fun thing Gary told us yesterday that I thought was a really cool model.
Eric, what is the first one?
Promise.
Promise. Thank you.
So that's your idea of what this business could look like once everything works out. All right, so the differences, again, from the two types of farming we're going to talk about here today, geographic farming versus demographic farming. There are essentially 2 types of real estate farming, geographic and demographic. Geographic farming means select a physical area, focus on it, such as a neighborhood or zip code. Demographic farming is a select group of people, such as first-time homebuyers, seniors, military personnel, equestrians, golfers. So that last one, demographic farming, is find a community, build it, and be the center of that community. And it goes from just a hobby that you have all the way up to specific niches inside of our business, like first-time home buyers, move-up sellers, and different things like that, military personnel. You can really have fun. You can really have fun with it. So I don't want you just to think of today as a talk around, I want to go pick a neighborhood, I want to start mailing to the neighborhood, and I want to start working that neighborhood. You can do these strategies with anything. This can just be your database here. Someone here in this office loves to hike. So he's building a community around hiking and inviting people to 2 hikes a month. One's a little beginner, one's an advanced one, but building his circle around that. You have another guy who loves tennis and was not a pro tennis player, but played with pros and was semi-professional in a sense. So he's getting back into it. Now he's teaching tennis classes. He's building that tennis circle, and he's going to be the center of that community. Any questions on geographic versus demographic?
I have a question for
Yeah.
you. Is there any laws that, like, if you want to farm, like I want to farm like all the Persian people in the area, is there any laws? I don't know.
What would it say differently from if you were sending it to the white boy down the street?
Can I like put like can I write it in Persian?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there a way to the title company can help you?
I think a title company
Yeah.
would be able to. Here's the issue with finding people that are that way is it does kind of break the law. Like, so what they would say is, well, why do you want to know where only those people live? Or why are we taking information down of, what different type of ethnicities are inside of houses? So there may be some limitations on that, but no, I if anything, I highly recommend this.
As long as I can target the farmers.
Exactly. Or you combine it.
Mhm.
So one of the things I talk about with Vinicius a lot is his neighborhoods are obviously as they morph over time, he's been in business for a long time, are now mostly Chinese.
Mhm.
And so he's finding that less and less people are engaging with what he's sending out because it's a more Chinese-based neighborhood. And right or wrong, we know that people like to stay with people they feel comfortable with, speak the same language, right? So one of the things I keep telling him is send out marketing in Mandarin, do English on the top, Mandarin on the bottom. You're going to have people feel differently just by having that on there. So I would absolutely recommend doing that. You just do run the risk if other people get in, they have no idea what you're saying. Absolutely. The other thing that I always thought about, Sean, and this is just totally an idea, was like a QR code that says, hey, we have this in different languages or anything like that, that people could go to a website that gives that information in a different language. My mind is spinning as far as how we can do that, because this is an issue, not an issue, but a thing for people where you have neighborhoods that are full different ethnicities that like to stay within their own little group. So totally get that. All right, what kinds of activities constitute real estate farming? Farming activities include sending out direct mail, handwritten letters, hosting events, sponsoring local activities, building a social media presence, knocking on doors to introduce yourself, your business. It's going to businesses going to local businesses around a farm. If it's a geographic farm, it's going to local businesses. Let's say it's your community is tennis, going to other local tennis places, right, and telling them about what you're doing, things like that. But these are the basics here. So hosting events, handwritten letters, direct mails, mailing, sponsoring local activities. That's a key one. In my conversation with Gary yesterday, you're going to see the market centers do way more in the community so that it's consumer facing. We're going to start running the same plays that we're telling you guys to run. And so that's what I would tell you is be a rock, a stone in that community, in a sense, like wherever you live, or even the city that whatever you're focused on as far as geographic farming is concerned. But do local stuff, sponsor sporting events, sponsor, when they have a little vendor fair or something like that. Get a booth at those things. So making sure that you're showing up locally in those things. If you have we'll talk about this in a little bit, but local boards, local meetings, things like that, HOA meeting. If there's an HOA in an area you farm, make sure you're going to those meetings if you can. All right, so choosing a geographic community. Choose a location you are passionate about. If it takes you 40 minutes to an hour to drive there, it's gonna be a little bit like, let's be real. I don't like driving 40 minutes from my house in San Jose to either one of our offices. So are you going to be that much energetic to drive 40 minutes to an hour to go to a neighborhood because you know you love the price point there, you know there's this beautiful little park, little community center, that's the place I want to farm? That's good, but make sure you are absolutely passionate about that area. Make sure there are local amenities. Is there a park? Is there a church? Are there local businesses around? That way it helps you as far as things that you're doing, you can really give first full circle as far as value to that community. If there are no local businesses around, or it's a far drive, and obviously here, you throw a stone, you got a mom and pop business right next door. So it's not really an issue here in the Bay Area, but local businesses are huge as far as giving value to the clients and showing them what's going on in the neighborhood. Those are small businesses that are run by people just like you and me. We all run small businesses. They're doing the exact same thing. So always highlight that stuff and always make sure that those things are going on in the neighborhood. Having a park or a community center that's nearby, plus, right? It's awesome for geographic farming. So make sure local amenities are something you're into. Neighborhood turnover. Turnover's low all over here. So this is something here I necessarily wouldn't say that is super important as far as farming is concerned. But you want to make sure that people are actually moving from these homes and they're not destination homes. If you have a neighborhood where you just have a bunch of 4,000, 3,000 square foot houses, and that's what you're trying to farm to, that's great. And people tend to stay in those houses for a really long time, even give them to their kids. So make sure you want to focus on the area. If you want high turnover, make sure that you're looking at those numbers before you choose it. Neighborhood regulations. There are some HOAs, there are some communities that don't want you in it, don't want you doing anything. So make sure beforehand that those are not the case for where you're choosing. Like I said before, attend the local meetings so that you know what's going on. Fantastic content for you to put inside of a newsletter. Yeah.
So talking about the local meeting and stuff, how do you find it?
The local meetings?
Yeah.
Oh, just whatever city you're in, county, they'll have local stuff going on. Less, you want to go to less school things, I would say, but just they're all every city has its local meeting that it does. You can call I'm pretty sure you can call the office, city hall, essentially, and find out when those meetings are. But every place has local meetings like that. Does that answer your question? Do you know what I'm talking about?
So the website online for events and a local meeting like this, but I just don't know.
So when you go to City of San Jose, they don't have a full list of when they do meetings and things like that. Yeah, or you go to the City of San Jose or City of whatever, insert city here on Google, and you go to the city's website, you should be able to click on events there, and they should have a list of when they do all those meetings. I'll follow up with you after and see if I can find that for you. But that's where you find that information. So just find the city that you're in, or the county. If you want to do county, you can do the county, but just find the city that you're going to be focused in and go to that website, and you should see in the events when their town hall meetings are and stuff like that. Own real estate in your farm. This one's easy. Not easy to do, but easy if you're living in a neighborhood and you want to start farming in a neighborhood. It is way quicker for you to infiltrate, build relationships when you live in that neighborhood. You also become that much more valid as far as being a neighborhood expert if you live in that area. This is by all means, this is not a must have, because we all know neighborhood experts aren't a real thing. They're something that consumers like to think is a thing that dictates how they buy or sell their houses, but we know it's just something. It just means know what you're talking about when it comes to things going on inside that neighborhood. But you definitely do not have to own a house in your farm, but it does help. Do open houses regularly in that farm. So what does that mean? Obviously, open houses are tougher to come by here because listings are tougher to come by here. But even if it's a vacant listing, you don't love it, that is a perfect time, do on a Wednesday, stick all your signs out there. And do everything you can, shoot some amazing video, do some door knocking, use it as an excuse to be present and be visual in the neighborhood. Again, be consistent. All right, demographic. So create a community and become the center of that community, making sure that it's an activity that you are passionate about, something that you enjoy doing. And don't take up knitting or take up whatever because you know lots of people that are into that kind of thing. So find something that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be big, but one of the things that obviously is, I think, the hot to trot one right now, especially with all the COVID babies being born, is mom groups or dad groups. Building specific, have you guys not seen it before? So specific Facebook pages or online communities built around moms and their kids. And you do events, you do get-togethers, bring the kids, right? Do all that stuff, but you are the center of that community. There's a gal named Rachel Adams Lee. She's in the Roseville, Sacramento area, but she's someone who I've known for 10 years now. And she's built an entire huge community around this, which has tons of other real estate agents wanting to build their own mommy and me group. But she just built this, it's just a Facebook community online, invite other moms to it, and it's moms helping moms. That's all it is.
They don't allow me to come.
Exactly. They absolutely will block anyone out who doesn't have a kid. So it's like the same thing if you're trying to become, be a part of the tennis group. Well, you're gonna look kind of like a schmuck if you really don't know how to hit that ball, but you're like, but I sell real estate, right? So you need to make sure it's something you're passionate about so that people find you valid in it too. You can't just be a participant in this. You have to be the center of it and the one who's the most passionate about it. Because what happens when we try to do something like this. We get a bunch of people who are like, absolutely, I'll go hiking with you this weekend. You get 20 people the first one, and that second one, it's like 15 or 12, and then by the third one, we're down to 5, right? And then it kind of tails off. That's how most things go. It won't go that way as long as you're passionate about it and you're constant with getting people engaged with it. Larry, I hope you're okay. I don't know what that was. What was he just saying?
Yeah, bro, Eric.
Yes. Do you have a question?
Oh no.
Oh, there was a noise that came from your Zoom box, and we just want to make.
Oh, really? It's on mute, so I thought I was just yawning. Yeah, sorry.
So when it comes to, I can't even remember what I was going to say on that. But yes, make sure you're passionate about the community that you're going to be the center of, and make sure it's something that you want to do consistently, because it's just like herding cats, right? To bring people together consistently, the tough thing to do. Make sure it's not too niche of a market or too market of the moment, right? Now, so this goes into if we think of COVID, when we went into hiding, if you will, people started doing a lot of virtual events. So we do a wine tasting where you send a bottle of wine out to all your clients, the same bottles of wine. They even have this because it was built during COVID, where you can do like a wine tasting thing with your friends, all virtually. Everyone pops on Zoom. You all get the either whiskey or wine or beers or whatever it is, and you all do it on Zoom together. Now, is that something that could still be going after COVID? Absolutely. But more likely people are going to want to meet in person now. So make sure it's not something that's just specific to what's going on in that market. And again, be consistent. All right, so let's talk newsletters and mailers. First part, choose your audience. Who do you want to attract? So remember we were talking about, is it tennis players? Is it the mommy and me group? Is it first-time home buyers? Is it people in the neighborhood? Is it just your database? Is it the other referral agents, right? You can build these newsletters just for agents to gain referrals from. So figure out who your audience is, because it's important to know who your audience is, because then that's where the topics come from. What does your information need to look like based off of the audience that you're going after? Now, if you're building a tennis community, are you just gonna be pumping a bunch of real estate stuff in there? Absolutely not. You better hope it has some things to do about tennis inside of that newsletter. Pick your frequency. Does it need to be daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly? And one of the things I talked about on Monday, as far as focusing on your database, same thing applies here. You have to have a plan. So every month we give you guys a market report and we give you a newsletter. And Kelsey and I talk about consistently about the consistency of when you can expect that newsletter. Rada, one of our top agents here at Thrive, she asked me yesterday, hey, when do we get that market report? Can we expect it by a certain day, a certain time? And she needs that so that she can tell her assistant, so her assistant knows that then they can grab it, do all the things they need to do, send it out to the database. But she wants that consistency. She wants to know when it is. We have to have that in our business. So you have to build a plan. When is your newsletter going to be done? When are those mailers that are going out to the properties? When do they actually hit the mailbox? You have to know all these things. This plan needs to be done ahead of time. This goes back to the promise, right? The promise is the idea of I'm going to send out 12 mailers a year to this entire farm. The performance is those 12 mailers actually happening, actually going out, and then gauging what response I got from them. But you have to make sure the system is working in between here and you have that plan in place, because otherwise your results are going to be all over the place. If you said you wanted to do 12 mailers for the year or 12 newsletters, but you actually got a newsletter like twice a quarter, well, then you can't really go and look at your results and think, are those true results? Because you didn't actually follow the plan that you had. So make sure it's something you can be consistent with. Make sure you have a plan. Assign the work. Who's going to write it, design it, manage distribution, and grow it? Now, if you're not a team or have any leverage, it's all on you. You're doing all this stuff. There's tons of other places that you can find other people to write it. And most of the things that you guys are going to see from me are not written by me. It's just not. I'm not good with my words. The information is stuff that I know and valid, but you're not going to all see things written by me. So don't think that that's something that you have to do. I love the story, but Mark Zhang here in our office, he just went to City Hall for the COPA. You guys know the COPA stuff going on with rental, with a multifamily. Look it up if you don't, COPA. But he had to go and he had to present. And so instead of him presenting and him writing everything down himself, he put it into AI. And AI wrote his entire statement for him. So there's tons of leverage as far as these things are concerned. Canva, you have Kelsey who can help you design it. Distribution and growing it, that's going to mostly fall on you, but there's definitely leverage that you can find there and you don't have to have employees. And then build your tech stack. This, again, like I was saying, one of the most important parts. We can't just be in the physical world, we have to also be based in the digital world. So when you are sending out mailers, you are sending out these newsletters, is it driving people back to a website or a landing page where they can engage further with you? I would tell you it's a must, not just a cell phone call or an email that you're going to receive from them. Make sure that you have a strong landing page or a website to drive them to. Make sure you're looking at analytics. So when you're sending out emails or you're mailing things off, who's opening it? That's huge. How many people are unsubscribing? How many people are opening the content? That's how you're going to gauge, are my subject lines strong enough? Or if people are opening the email, but they're closing it very quickly. Well, you're not grabbing them, right? You've got enough to open the email, but you're not getting them to stay on your email. There's also plenty of times where we'll see an email that stays open and the analytics will tell you, oh, they opened it 5 times, they've opened it 10 times. So it's really important that you're looking at that stuff, engaging it, because it's going to tell you what to lean further into or to go away from. An email platform. Love Command, and the email platform works for what it can do. If you're trying to go massive with it, and I will tell you the analytics in Command aren't like a MailChimp or some of the other email platforms, which are just built to be email platforms. So if you're looking to do this at a high level and leverage analytics at a high level, I would go with an email platform like a MailChimp or another one other than Command. But if you're looking for down and dirty, get it done, send it out, go out to all your people and cheaper, Command will absolutely help you and is capable of doing all this stuff. I can't remember it. I'll find it in my phone right before we end and tell you guys, but there is a email platform that performs really well as far as like making sure that you're sending it to deliverable addresses. So some email platforms, if you're sending a bunch of emails to people, to addresses that aren't active or not receiving emails, that actually flags your account. I don't know if you guys knew that. So always making sure that the emails you have in there that are valid, but there are also some email platforms that will go through and audit that list for you to make sure that you're not sending it to people, fake people. And then we were talking about branding. Make sure you have a logo. 3 most common audiences for real estate newsletter: your database, referral partners, and neighborhoods. Could you send the same thing to these people? Yes, you can. And I highly recommend that you do. My favorite emails I get are from other real estate agents with things that I think are cool that I'm going to steal and use myself. So when that happens, what happens? Do you show up valid to that real estate agent in San Diego or another state away? 100%. So using the content you create for your database and just sending it to referral partners as well, easy peasy thing to do. Obviously, specific zip codes and neighborhoods are more specific to that local area. Any questions on this or anything? All right, design. So we're just talking about this with Jordan Mott's flyer. So first one, eye-catching subject line. This is for sending out emails. Use emojis. Emojis are your friend. The other dirty thing that works well, and it bugs me that works well, but it works on me every time, is when you see the RE, right? Like it's a reply or a forward. Whenever I see that in the subject line, I go, oh, this is someone who's replying to me. They don't always get me, but they get me sometimes. But think about catchy subject lines. And again, put yourself in your consumer shoes. Go through your email list. What subject lines stand out to you? Use headlines that are popular in our everyday news and things like that are grabbing attention as far as real estate is concerned to help you do the exact same thing. So your mind always wants to be open, looking at eye-catching subject lines so that you're getting people to open your email. It works well. You know, people are scrolling, you're going to stay top of mind. They'll see your name through there. That's great. And that's good. But we want them clicking on your email so that the email system knows this is something to keep putting in their main inbox. So always looking at your eye-catching subject lines are very, very important. Engaging title on your newsletter. Don't just put Eric Bradley newsletter. Definitely don't put my name on your newsletter. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. It's not going to work for you. But put something that has to do with the area or the topics that you're talking about. Don't just show up with your name and the newsletter underneath it. Clear and bright graphics. So I'm going to show you guys some newsletters on here, and honestly, some of them are, in my opinion, what not to do. Last I checked, if you guys wanted to read a novel, you would be in your house reading the novel and engaged in it. So last thing you want to show up on your doorstep is this thing with just a ton of words on it. So making sure that you guys are using an easy to read layout and something that's easy for people's eyeballs to catch and go to certain things on that document. Call to action. What's a call to action? Someone give me an example of a call to action. Yeah, simple. Call me, right? It's just like if we went on 5 lunch appointments with people from our database and never asked for a referral. We're doing all this work. We're showing up. We're giving value to build a relationship. Make sure there's a call to action on there. Again, that's where the actually goes right into the number 6 there, the links. Make sure what you're sending them can also drive them to other areas in your digital space. How can they learn more about you the more they engage with your emails? Do your email links just go to a website that just shows properties? That's okay if it does. But just think about what is the experience when someone engages with your email. Now, what are they doing with that email? Are they wanting to forward that email to someone? Are they wanting more information about something? Can they get more information about it? So making sure when we're designing these things that they're designed to engage people, but also designed for them to want to go get more information and engage on your site or give you a call. So making sure you're not putting all the information. You're putting the market report out there. Maybe you're not putting all the photos of the homes on there, but you're putting the sales price and the property address. That was one of my easiest ones to get call back from people, is I would send a CMA that was just a line item CMA. So they didn't know what all the photos and everything of the home looked like. So they would call me and ask for descriptions of the home. Hey, this one sold for $475,000 down the street, over on this street. But what does it look like on the inside? Mine looks like this. So make sure you're putting things out there that gives them a little taste, keep them wanting more. So call to actions. Another really good one for this is MOPRs, make offer for immediate response. That's an easy one that everyone loves is your home value. That's an easy one. Here's an offer. Do you want your home value? Immediate response is yes, I do. They have to engage, then they get the home offer. So what is the thing that you have that they want? And that newsletter, that email, that postcard, that's the thing that's going to give them the key to get it, but they have to engage to get it. Content. Add value to the relationship. Add value to the relationship. If they can just go online and look at homes, right? We have Zillow all in our pockets, right? We have Redfin in our pockets. We can look at homes all day. So we know when I meet with Sean for the first time and we're going on a buyer appointment, me just giving him my hand and saying, all right, go to town, buddy. That's not value to build a relationship. So don't just think home searching is value in a relationship. Your market knowledge, community information, feature businesses, coupon for businesses. This one works every time. B2B, anyone in here do really well with B2B, business to business? So this is a fantastic spot to start. So what is every business owner looking for from their database?
Get more business.
Referrals, right? If Sean eats at my restaurant, I want Sean to go to me. I want him to tell her, you gotta go eat at this place. That's what I want. What everyone wants. So when you get a phone call and it's from a friend of yours or a past client, whatever it is, and they say, hey, I have someone who wants to sell a house over on 133 Main Street. I gave them your name. Could you help them? What's that feeling you get on the inside? Pretty awesome, right? Feels great. Because euphoria is coming, it's coming out. And in that moment, you're like, I'm awesome. This is fantastic. Same thing happens when you call that business. Hey, I was referred to you by blank. They said you have the best pizza in town. Is this the owner? I would love to talk to the owner. Hey, I door knock this entire neighborhood. I canvass the entire neighborhood. I would love to feature your business on here. If you have some time to meet with me, I'd love to chat with you. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that lots of people are calling that business owner? Probably. There's probably a good chance. This is a very easy business tactic to follow, but it creates a sense of want that you're giving them, that they're needing, that you guys are partnering together. Small business is a lonely business. So the business to business is a fantastic referral source to start from. And everyone loves people who support small business. Everybody loves people who support small business. Other thing I don't have in here, but it's on another one, is local schools. Okay, if you're in a geographic farm and you have a couple prominent schools there, especially, people are spending this money on the dirt out in our backyard because the schools and the jobs. That's why they're here. The food's great too, but they're here for schools and jobs. They want to go work at their job and they want their kid to go to a great school so that they can do the exact same thing. So if we know that, lean into it. Interview high school students, that kid who just hit the walk-off home run for the for the local school, go do a quick little interview with them. Someone who just, call the principal and ask these people, hey, what are some great things that I can recognize that this school is doing? So make sure putting things like that in there, it touches people's hearts immediately. And then also, when you're connecting with the local businesses, they're more open to you having your contact info inside of that place. If you sponsor a local Little League team, things like that, they put photos of that stuff up on the wall, get your branding and things up on the wall. All right, so this is some content. I'm not going to go through all of this. It's pretty self-explanatory on most of it. And if you ever feel like you don't have enough content, Google it. It's true. There's tons and tons of this stuff all over the place. So I don't want you to think I need to reinvent the wheel to do these things. It's just starting with a couple and doing it and making it happen. One of the things I want to highlight here is educational guides, evergreen content. Evergreen content means stuff that people can look at throughout the year. We do an educational seminar, a first-time homebuyer seminar. That's evergreen content that you could show in January, you could show it in June, you could show it in December, you could even show it the next year after that. Now, there may be some markets that you're sharing that may not be evergreen, but always how-tos, educational guides, those are evergreen content that when you create it, it's not something that goes away immediately. You're doing an open house, walking through an open house, that's not really evergreen content because that house is going to be sold. Now, people can see it as a, they take your resume, hey, this is what you do. But evergreen content is things like educational guides and stuff that people can look at all the time. The rest of this is pretty self-explanatory. I would say this is a big one right here, especially in this area: construction, home repair, refresh. So we always, when we look at a funnel, right? If our business is a funnel, the top of the funnel is the least motivated, the bottom of the funnel is the most motivated. We want to try to get people up here. We want to start building that relationship when they're at the least motivated, so that when they are motivated, they're just thinking of us, one person. They're not thinking of, okay, it's time for me to go buy a house or sell a house. Let's line up the agents to start doing interviews. So we want people before they're motivated. So focusing on construction, home repair, refresh, these are things that people always want to talk about. If someone's going to list their house in 3 years, potentially, they have a freshman, let's say. And after that freshman is a senior and graduates, they're going to downsize to a smaller house. But they want to put a pool in the backyard for just right now, or they want to do an addition, whatever it may be to their house. Talking to a real estate agent, even if you're going to sell it 4 years down the line, talking to a real estate agent to consult them on what you could do to your home today that will help you with equity later versus, yeah, that's something that's not really going to make a difference in the marketplace. So you can go for it, but don't do it thinking it's going to make anything stand out. I was just talking to one of our agents, and she's selling a townhome, and they took the living room and enclosed it and made it a bedroom, but there's no closet, so it's not a bedroom. So when she's looking at the comps, she's trying to figure out, well, do I treat this as an extra room? Is it this? Is it that? And that's kind of that's where you really want to get in consultation mode and make it to where your clients aren't just thinking, if I'm talking to you, that means I'm motivated to sell my house or motivated to buy a house. You want them comfortable enough to talk to you even when there's nothing going on as far as making a sale or making a purchase. It's just to help advise them on the moves they need to make that will set them up later down the line. So helping people out with those kinds of things, like what are the additions to make, the little simple refreshes you can do to your house. It's a fantastic way to get people top of the funnel before they're actually motivated to sell. And Sean and I were talking about this one a couple weeks ago. So Sean has a full construction crew in his back pocket, right, built into his business. So I asked them about offering a concierge service to his clients where they can fix the house up before they sell it, list it, and then pay the construction costs after they sell the home. Now that's maximum flexibility for a client. Is every agent offering that? No, some are, but not all of them are. Definitely not all of them are. But they're not starting the conversation that way. So when we think about how can we get engagement, we have to think about how we can approach a conversation other than you want to buy or sell a house. We need to change the conversation. And these are different ways for you to change the conversation up front and get people more engaged rather than, oh, yes, I'm motivated to sell. Yes, I'm motivated to buy. This is bringing flexibility into their life that they otherwise wouldn't be able to get. All right. So I'll go really
Hey,
quick.
Eric.
Yes.
Okay, we have one question from Julia from your previous presentation. What is MOFIRs?
Make offer for immediate response. An example would be, do you want your home value? If yes, click here or scan this QR code and then I give you home value. So you want to make an offer to them, something that they could want, but the only way they can get it is they actually have to respond to your email, newsletter, postcard, phone call, text message to get the information that they want. So make an offer that's going to get an immediate response. So here's some examples of newsletters that you guys can go through. Again, you're going to have the QR code that has all of this on it. So just take note of the layout, right? You guys are a consumer. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Also, I would argue a lot of these are not very quote unquote high end looking. But to me, the way things look high end is clean it up. Don't make it as busy, right? So don't overcomplicate what you're looking at here. But what you really want to focus on is the content that they're putting out there. So I'll allow you guys time to look. You guys will have time to look through this when you get to PowerPoint. This one right here, if you want to make note of it, this is Kenny Klaus. So he was a FedEx or UPS driver in Arizona, and he had multiple specific routes, but he was in these 3 primary zip codes. Well, he decided one day, what if I just got my real estate license and I follow my exact routes and farm? So he did that. He built single websites for each zip code, and then he would build a newsletter for each zip code. And this is how it looked every time. He became the #1 agent very quickly in Arizona because he already had relationships with those people on the route. They already knew who he was, and he was already following a consistency that he already had down. He knows the neighborhoods inside and out, and then he just brought even more consistency in with it. But now he's one of the top people, fantastic to talk to. He's a fun guy to talk to as well. But he's a great guy, and his name's on their calls team. So he's a good guy. Google him, look at all the different things that he offers. One of the things, you can't really see it here, but right here it says buy, then sell, sell and stay, instant offers, go to market, right? Those are MOFers. Those are different conversations than people are having. Go to market is the conversation that most people are having, but a buy then sell, that's unheard of, especially here. He's in Arizona, obviously a little bit of a different market, but there are programs that you can use here for a very similar thing. HomeLife provides a buy then sell package that you can do. You can offer it yourself. Sell and stay. I'm not exactly sure what that one is, but I would guess it's a sell it off the market and then have the convenience of then moving with the agreed upon time. Or maybe it's, actually, you know what? It's probably sell and then you become the renter of that house is what I would maybe guess on that one. And then instant offers, get an instant offer on your house. So these are 4 ways that he's showing that every time his letter goes out there, they have these 4 offers on there, and it's different than what other people are offering. And then last one on here, like this one to me, way too busy. This is a small novel. I wouldn't read this one, but that's just me. I do like this part right here. The use of QR codes to be able to deliver more content than just what's on that page is something you guys should be taking advantage of. So this one's Caroline Lowe. So I don't know if you guys know Carolyn Lowe. She's in our Burlingame office. She's one of the heads of luxury for Keller Williams. But what she sends out is a digital magazine. This magazine is provided to you from Keller Williams. So you have this template and everything already inside your system. Kelsey will help you build one of these if you want to build a full custom one. But this is what Caroline sends out. And I think for more of the luxury thing, that's a luxury magazine or a listing newsletter magazine is a cool thing to send out. All right, let's talk events. All right, so best practices for events. Keep your events age appropriate as far as your ideas are concerned. If it's going to be a kid-focused event, make sure it's a kid-focused event. If it's going to be adults only, know that it's going to be tougher for people to come bring their kids to those events. So make sure you understand what types of events you're doing. Budget them accordingly. Make sure that you're following a budget when it comes to planning your events. Leverage your vendors and affiliates to help sponsor these events. These are a huge value for them because they're getting people face to face. It's a lot different than just helping you spend with marketing dollars. 3 and 4 to me are the most important. Photography and videography. If you're going to spend the money to do this event, take all this time, make sure that you can record the entire thing so you can show it constantly, everything that you do. And one of the biggest swings and misses is when you put all that money into an event, but then you have no recollection of what happened during or after it. So make sure you memorialize it by doing photography and video during the event. And to me, the most important one is this is where the power of the event comes in. It's not throwing an amazing event. When people go to a party and it's an amazing party, they go, oh, that was a great party. That was amazing. That was awesome. Now, I may be more likely to send a referral over Sean's way because it was a great party. But the reality is that quickly fades away. That, oh, yes, this party I went to last week. What sticks, though, is that phone call ahead of time. You call them and invite them to the party and that conversation you're going to have. That feeling of being invited to something that you weren't invited to before. And then I think the most important one is oh, sorry, I didn't see you there, or you unfortunately weren't able to make it. So you have 2 touches, if not 3 touches when you do an event. You have the invite, you have the event, and then you have the follow-up after the event. Sorry you didn't make it, or thanks for coming. But that's really where stones are moved and business is made, is when that is happening. Make sure it's an invite, a personal invite, phone to phone, one-to-one, not just a mass email to everybody. Here's some event ideas for you guys. Again, pretty self-explanatory. I really love this one. We used to do the pie giveaway, and then we would do photos with Santa the next month. I love this idea of putting them together, do a pie giveaway, and while you're getting the pie, sit down on Santa's lap and take a photo. Cooking classes are fantastic. Obviously, it's harder to do a one-to-many with a cooking class, but for your VIP people, going yourself, paying for them to go to a cooking class and you going together, there's fun, there's food, everyone enjoys it. For really quick ones, like doing your fun seminars, but including alcohol in it because adults love alcohol. So buyers and brews is a simple one. Virtual tastings is a great one. So one I've done a couple times during COVID was we did a couple whiskey tasting things with my database, and I had 20 the first one and 12 the second one. But it was a great event. This one, if you want a ball on the budget, movie screening, easy, super easy. Everyone loves going to movies, and people love taking their kids to movies. When there's an opportunity for a free movie and to stuff yourself with popcorn, they always love to engage with it, and it's relatively cheap to do that. We're going to do an event where we're going to fly out a speaker from Florida, and looking at community centers and stuff like that, it's actually way cheaper just to rent a movie theater out rather than getting a community center, and you have the big screen there with it. Barbecues are fantastic. Spring cleaning for a geographic farm. This one's fun. And now this one would require either knowing someone in the neighborhood or your home being in the neighborhood. But you put a big dumpster outside of your house, and you take sections of your neighborhood and you tell them, hey, from this time to this time on this day, you get to go throw anything you want in there. So do some spring cleaning inside your house, and then I'm giving you a dumpster to be able to throw stuff away in. And then same thing with community garage sales. These are more geographic ones. Housewarming party. I talked about this on Monday. Not everyone's going to want to do this, but when we had people do it, we received referrals immediately after. So I help you buy a house. Then after I help you buy a house, we say, congratulations, we want to throw you a housewarming party. And we usually do it with the lender who's involved. And sometimes the escrow will come as well, but they'll come as more of a sweat, you know, like you're going to put in sweat equity into it. They can't give you any money, where I can have the lender pay for food and stuff for the housewarming party. But I say, I'm going to throw you a housewarming party. All you have to do, give me your entire friends list, and I will reach out to them, and we will send invitations for this housewarming party. And then we'll go and knock on the neighborhood and invite some of your neighbors as well. What am I getting when that happens as a real estate agent? Get more listings, absolutely. But they just gave me their entire database. I just said, hey, give me your database so I can call them and tell them, yo, I helped this person buy a house, come to their housewarming party. And then when they come to that housewarming party, who do they know through the housewarming party? Me. So I look fantastic. So I got a personal touch with them. I now look great in their eyes because I'm helping their friend. I help their friend buy a house, and then I help their friend then throw a housewarming party. And then, like you were saying, I'm going down the neighborhood and I'm showing off what I do for my clients. Hey, we just helped the person buy a house. We would love to invite you to a housewarming party. I'm not talking about listing your house, but I look that much better when I do that. And obviously you have to have a registration list. So you just tell them, yeah, if you'd like to come, just scan this QR code and it's going to take you to a page that's going to say, yes, I want to come. My name is blank. And you'll get all that information. And so this is a great way to build your database by just throwing a little party for someone. And you know, it's nothing big. You're spending a couple $100 on food, but just finger foods, get the lender to pay for most of it. Then a reverse bold 100. Does anyone know what a reverse bold 100 is? Does anyone know what a bold 100 is? Has anyone taken bold? Okay, great. 3 strikes and I'm out. So a bold 100 is you contact 100 people, like voice to voice, in one day. And this is a challenge that you do in bold. Here's what I recommend. Don't do it. I've done it. It's horrible. You by like 30 or 40, you're like, I want to be done, but you're already committed. And then you're just getting your phone calls. So don't do it. The reverse bold 100, I think, is a lot cooler. Now, there are some things with this that you have to be careful of, and maybe violating some of them with how you say it. But again, it's rare people are going to call you out on this type of violation. But what you say is, I'm doing a giveaway. I got Niners tickets for this for next Sunday, box seats, great seats, whatever it may be. All you have to do is call me between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Tell me your favorite football player, and that enters you into a drawing for this. And if you give me a referral, it's 3 more entries into the drawing. So every time someone calls you, that's 1 contact. And every time someone calls you, that's 1 entry into there. And now you're having a conversation. So you're forcing people. You spend $500 on, or you just find a game that people don't really care about. Get free tickets. You may have season tickets. Spend a couple $100 on tickets. And then you tell your database, call me during this time so that we can have a phone conversation, and it enters you into a drawing for these tickets. It's very low barrier of entry for them. And they get extra when they give you a referral. And then you get extra when they give you a referral. And there may be some issues with saying, if you give a referral, I give you more of this. But again, you would really have to piss someone off to call you out on that one. All right, in closing, so these are my just clean nitty gritty. These 5 things, you do this when you're farming, whether it's geographic or, look, I was talking about RESPA in compliance, and our broker like walked out. It's like she heard it, like I actually had a speaker in her office. So these are my most important things. Pick a location. Be firm on that location, be passionate about that location. And you can actually say location or community, or, you know, thing you're into that you want to build a community around. Number two, build content. So a question you always have to ask yourself, and I'm constantly checking myself on this, are you a consumer of content or are you a creator of content? The people in this world who make money are the ones creating content. So you have to make sure you're creating content, even if it's small content. And we're talking Facebook posts, little paragraph, whatever it may be, you have to create content, even if it's other people's content. Take a real estate article and read some of the lines off of that. That's you creating content. So make sure you're creating content. Build relationships through value. Congratulations, you have your real estate license, and that's not enough value for you to build a relationship with people. So truly be a great listener, understand what is value to people. Don't think you can define value to your consumers. They define the value to you, and you have to make sure that you deliver it. Make sure you're standing out, and again, be consistent. If you are consistent, you will be able to do this well and at a high level and can build on top of that. So really, really focus on consistency. All right, give me 3 ahas and we're done. I'll let you go. Or any questions also as well after all the things I just talked about.
I received quite a bit of flyers from the agents, local agents. And something really stands out is really agents offers that, for example, inspection before cleaning a house for free. And then some big ones even offer to remodel your home before sale.
Exactly. Yep.
I went to some of the open house that they did that. They showed before and after.
Yep.
It's really valuable for those sellers.
And it's different, right? You don't always see that on, you get so many of those cars, but not all of them have
That's right.
that on.
That's right. Those are really the values stand out.
And I'll tell you, as far as we know that this area, there's a lot of discount brokers and people who will discount their commission. And I was doing the math with an agent one day. This is actually kind of funny, but we were looking through all of their concessions, and I said, well, if you took all your concessions, you almost could just pay for their moving every time you do a transaction. Instead of giving them concessions, they'll pay for your movers. So that's where I love that as far as build relationships through value. Don't think being cheap is valuable, because it's not. Being valuable and being resourceful, offering all these extra things, that's valuable. And then you can say what they can say, I don't want any of this stuff. And you're like, okay, I'll lower my commission because you don't want me to do half of the job that I'm going to put into it. But definitely offer the value up front so that they see what your worth is. And also a little rest of the thing I've learned, so you can't put free. You can't say I do this for free, I do this for free, I do this for free, I do this for free. You can say it's included. Included in my services is blank. Again, that's if someone's a real a-hole and wants to call you out, they can call you out, and you can't say that you do things for free. Yeah, but that's a fantastic point.
But for the home price here, it's so expensive. You think about it, those things added up compared to the commission you get.
Oh, yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is expensive. So that's why it's important to show that value that you have. Create those mofers that help you stand out. Having the before and afters, I'm sure you do stuff like this, right? Like when you guys have a house that you flipped or anything like that, do you put anything in the house to show the before and after and the work that you've done? You got to show it, right? Those are huge things to put on. Great aha. Yeah. Anyone else? Questions? And I need 2 more ahas.
For me was that we don't need to only focus on geofarming. We can do the demographic farming. So
Exactly.
that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And then my question to you was that for farming, like, would you say once a month is enough, or
For like a mailer to go out?
for mailer? Like,
Yeah, I would say once a month for a mailer. So something I was going to put in here and I didn't put in here was you have to be consistent, right, with all your touches. And the #1 reason people unsubscribe from email is too many emails from that one person. So there is a thing that's too much, and there's a thing that's too little. So I think if you're dabbling in each one once a month, you're good. You have an email that goes out, you have a postcard that goes out, and maybe a text message, something like that too. I think that's a good way of measuring it. But I think 2 emails a month are okay as well. But I would say 1 mail.
What about posters when you're sending it? How do you stay consistent so it looks the same, but you have to send different messages, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, and that's where you have to separate your branding from your content. Don't make your content your branding.
Yeah.
So think of you know, Vinicius is the Santa Clara real estate guy, right? That kind of sticks out, Santa Clara real estate guy. So he has that logo that he sees on top. Jordan, he's with different colors and things like that. But I've seen Jordan's ones more recently, and they look exactly like Andy C's.
Yeah.
And so you almost can't tell the difference between the two unless you look at the person on there. So that's what I think about when I think of content versus the branding. Is the brand is I go, this is shameless, and the content is, oh, this is interesting. So definitely, as far as the branding is concerned, it's when they see it, when they look at it, what's the first thing that they think about? Do they think of you when they look at this? Is, you know, like for me, so what I always sent out when I would send to my agents every week, I would send a real estate joke. So they had a joke always up top, and obviously I try to be as funny as possible. So I put that up there. That's my brand, right? They feel that. So I would say, I don't know if that answered your question, but and it's really, you use your eyeballs to feel it out too. Like I have an issue with the 2 posters. When you guys walk out, look at the 2 posters that are on the front desk. They look almost exactly the same. It's the same color scheme on the back end and then gold in the middle, different classes, different people instructing it, but your eyeballs walking by, if you're looking quickly, right, go, looks like the same class. So now branding wise, I know the branding works because I can tell that's the same flyer. That's a flyer that has been done before, but content wise, I can't tell. So that's where branding is the recognition really quick. Content is the engagement that you feel with it. Okay, one more aha or any questions? Susie.
Hi, yeah, Eric. Hi, this is Susie. So I want to know, do we have a script that we can use for like door knocking and the follow up? You know, or like the friends we didn't contact for a long time. You know, so this script we can use.
Yes, absolutely. I will send you a link. Anyone who just shoot me an email. Anyone on this right now, send me an email if you want some scripts. I have a full load of scripts, and so does Travis Clark has a full thing of scripts that I can send you guys. There are plenty of scripts out there. And also do not be shy of using your resources. Like, so going on KW Connect and going on to Google, you're going to see a ton of different stuff from different agents. Here's what I always tell you with scripts is get the script down so that then you can make it your own. But the verbiage is the same verbiage that you use all over the place. But we have tons of scripts, Susie.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Eric.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you all. Appreciate you. Feel free if you have any questions or anything, bug me. We'll do these. Oh wait, let me give you. There's the QR code for you to get the slide deck. But we'll do these conversations about once a quarter, about every couple months, and I'll constantly be adding different things. And so what I hope is that you start doing something now, that when we have our next conversation, you're at a different spot in your business with it. You're maybe in the perform spot with it, and we're having different dialogue and we're talking about different things. Okay, cool. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eric.
My pleasure.